Ladies and gentlemen, we have 4 3-minute rounds in the super-middleweight division. And boxing out of the red corner in the red and white shorts, weighing in at 11 stone, 13 pounds and 8 ounces, making his 45th appearance in the ring, from Poprad, Slovakia, please welcome Pavol Garaj! And boxing out of the blue corner in the tartan and beige shorts, weighing in at 12 stone, 2 pounds and 2 ounces, with a record of 1 win, from Sheffield, Yorkshire, it's Red George Johnson! Your referee is Howard Foster.
So for the final time tonight, Howard Foster calls our fighters to the centre of the ring. They're scheduled for 4 at super middleweight. Red Johnson on the left-hand side there, retreating to that blue corner. And that's Pavol Garaj, joining us from Poprad in Slovakia.
Seconds out, round 1.
Looking to snap that jab early on there, Johnson. Hooking off the jab and then trying to find that right hand. He looked good when we saw him on debut, Spence, back at the end of April.
He certainly did. You know, he impressed us. He looks like he's got a good work rate. Timing's good. This takes his time. Shows a lot of patience for a young man. It comes with a lot of support as well. It's easy to get wrapped up in your support and get carried away and make little fundamental mistakes, but Johnson doesn't do that, showing good boxing skills here in this opening round, just taking his time but picking the shots well.
Turning southpaw, he's equally as happy, orthodox or southpaw. Very solid look to him, weighed in at 12 stone, 2 and 2 ounces. Super middle's the weight he's going to box up when it comes to titles. Very strong legs when you look at him in the ring there.
Yeah, very big set, good lead. Right hook there out of southpaw stance, followed by the left cross through the middle there. Broke through the guard of his opponent, that was good stuff.
Garaj trying to keep that guard high enough there, catches the jab on it. Not an awful lot that's been coming back from him in this opening round. Johnson's been nice and busy, switches back into the right-handed stance there. Garaj used the ropes pretty well there. A few rows back, they enjoyed that one, the right hand, but it didn't land all that clean.
Yeah, Garaj, you know he's got that experience, got that Eastern European style, nice tight, high guard, likes to hold his feet and come forward and have a little bit of a fight. So Johnson doing the right thing here, working on the outside, keeping the distance, keeping the space, but picking his shots. Good shot selection from Johnson, switching from orthodox to southpaw and keeping Garaj guessing.
As I say, he has been pretty circumspect in this opening round, Pavol Garaj, and I think that's going to be the mission here for Johnson, is to see if he can find a way to prize Garaj open, who, just as I say that, steps forward and looks to put a few punches together. Nice strong left hand there from Johnson. Yeah. Garaj doesn't make himself an easy target. Right hand through the middle there from Johnson, and just beginning to work his man over a little bit there, but again, the gloves are up, the forearms are pinned.
Yeah, Garaj showing a good defence, but this is nice from Johnson. I like what I'm seeing, you know, he's showing good patience, picking his shots really well, and when he sees that opportunity, puts them together in 3s and 4s. Very impressive stuff here from young Red Johnson.
Trains out of the Hood Boxing Centre as the trainer's t-shirt shows us there. Regan Denton, those two have been together for a little while.
Yeah, some of the good work here from Johnson in that opening round. Looking for the openings, trying to create the spaces, switching from orthodox to southpaw, back to orthodox. And there we see him pinning Garaj on the ropes and letting those combinations go, trying to break through the high guard of Garaj there. Good first round there from Red Johnson. Impressive. Let's see if he can build on that now.
That's Adam Etches on the left-hand side there, just peering over the ropes. Adam Etches and Scott Jenkins were two young Sheffield fighters from maybe 10 years ago who used to sell out arenas by themselves. Sold 1,500 tickets each. He was absolutely incredible. Boxer middleweight Etches, and he wasn't a man who was afraid to let his hands go. He was good to watch.
Yep, solid fighter, Adam Etches. He really was. He'd give us some memorable nights.
Nice bit of upper body movement there from Johnson. He just shuffles in with those feet. Always the same distance apart. Where the front one goes, the back one follows.
Yep, showing good maturity here with Johnson. Just taking his time, you know. He's boxing like a seasoned pro here, only having his second contest. And like I say, it's easy to get wrapped up with the crowd early on in your career, and you want to go out there, you want to impress, you want to get those knockouts, but he's showing great patience. He's looking for those openings, impressive stuff.
Well, he was in with Konstantin Alexandrov at the end of April, who is a fighter well versed in going the distance, so he got the 4 rounds in on that occasion. And Garaj is a very similar kind of operator. He's been stopped once in 33 defeats. That was by Kieran Smith 4 years ago now.
Yeah, they're giving him some good fights, Red Johnson. You know, they're good developing fights, good learning fights. You know, they're not guys that are just going to come. It's quite easy to put an opponent in there that you can blow away. And, you know, you get the first round victories, you get the second round victories, but you're not really learning anything. This is a good start to the professional career of Red Johnson.
Just trying to cuff with that right hand. Garaj, though, continues to be well organised.
Yeah, giving nothing away, Garaj. He's keeping his hands very tight. He's not taking many chances, not too much coming from him, but doing a good job defensively. Good right hand through the middle there from Johnson. He just stepped back, created the space and drove that shot through. Impressive stuff.
Into the final minute of round 2. This is our final fight of the night. Warriors of Steel at the Magna Centre in Rotherham. And it's provided some really good entertainment. Left hand there from Johnson. Takes that right to the body and then goes back up with the jab. Nice little bit of variety there. He's trying to prise open this tight defence.
Yep, he is. He's looking for the openings. That's what I say. He's showing great maturity. He's showing great patience, switching from orthodox to southpaw, trying to create the openings. He's not just trying to go in there like a wrecking ball and trying to get the job done. You know, this is good stuff from Johnson. Good lateral movement as well, moving the head well, just creating the space, but keeping his feet in range so he can get off with his shots.
So 2 rounds down. Won numerous Yorkshire titles as an amateur.
Some of the action here in the second round. All Johnson again, working the body, coming back upstairs again. Garaj doing a good job defensively, like I say, keeping those arms up and making things difficult for Red Johnson. Like I say, this is the learning stage of your career. These early fights are where you develop, where you learn your trade, and these are good opponents for Red Johnson.
I said earlier, trainer and fighter have been together for a short while. That's kind of officially in the professional ranks. They've known each other for a really long time.
Corners, 10 seconds.
So there's that closeness and bond there between the pair of them, definitely. A little bit of blood just coming out of the left nostril there of Garaj, having to be taken care of between rounds. So into the third, Red Johnson, a local man, the ticket seller, popular character around the Sheffield boxing scene. He's in those kind of Burberry shorts with the red gloves.
Nice right hand through the middle again from Johnson. Nice help High guard from Garaj, but Johnson just splitting through the middle of the guard. Johnson just controlling the pacing there at the moment. He's got the distance right, he's working well behind the jab, making things very difficult for his opponent as he snaps another left hand straight through the middle there. Good stuff here from Johnson again.
Garaj just coming forward looking for the uppercut there. That was a good strong southpaw jab though there from Johnson. You could see it just pulling back onto his heels a bit there, Garaj. Right hand into the body as well. He doesn't waste much, Johnson. That's one thing you would say about him. Quite a lot has landed on the gloves and forearms, which is inevitable the way that Garaj is set up.
Yeah, it's difficult to break through the guard of like someone like Garaj who seems to have long arms. The body's well protected, the hands are well protected, but Johnson doing a good job. He's switching, he's trying to create the angles, switching from orthodox to southpaw, showing good patience. Everything's there for Johnson, you know. I think I'm impressed with what I'm seeing.
Moves off after throwing that left hook. Garaj just sets his feet and tries to wade into a right and left hand himself there, heading into the final minute of round 3.
Yeah, you just like to see Johnson start picking it up a little bit more now. You know, he's stalking forward. You know, I've got no real criticisms of Johnson. He does everything. He's got the shot selection, switches well from orthodox to southpaw. I think if I had one criticism, it'd be like I like to see him go through the gears just a little bit more, you know. Just take his feet out of range, come back with 3s and 4s, just change the tempo just a bit.
Garaj getting a bit more involved as we head towards the end of round 3 here, but there again, that's good from Johnson. Just sets those feet and throws that southpaw jab and then left hand. Which stance do you think he's more effective out of?
Well, I think he's effective out of both stances actually. He looks like he does them equally as well. I think he boxes well out of orthodox. Probably better out of orthodox than he does southpaw, but he boxes very effective out of southpaw as well, and it's obviously keeping his opponent very occupied. The opponent doesn't know where it's coming from. I think it's a good quality to have if you can do that.
Little right hand on the inside got through there from Garaj. Never looked hurt at any point. Looks okay, looks absolutely fine as he heads back to the red corner, just off to our right hand side. Johnson staying on his feet.
Yep, another dominant round there from Johnson. Switching the attacks to body heads, broke through the guard of Garaj a few times. Here's some of the action out of the southpaw stance there from Johnson. Left hands through the middle, then switches round to orthodox and is equally as effective there. We see him out of the southpaw stance, throwing the 1-2, but very, very effective stuff from Red Johnson. Actually an improvement from his debut where sometimes he looked over-eager, a little bit too keen, but today he's shown good patience, takes his time, kept the distance well. Shot selection's been great and it's been a good performance so far from Johnson. Let's hope now he picks it up in this last round, but doesn't get silly, doesn't get reckless. Just see a little bit more movement, a little bit more combination punching. That's what I'm looking for in this round.
4th and final round.
So a touch of gloves as we head into the final round of our final fight of the night. Leading off with a left hook there, Johnson. I don't think he would have expected anything other than to go the distance. You're always hoping for the stoppage, but particularly against somebody like this, you just go about your business and whatever happens, happens, which is the attitude you're kind of always supposed to take. But as you say, quite often early in careers, fighters will get easy knockover jobs, and there's nothing wrong with that. It can build a little bit of confidence, but you can never read too much into stoppage stats in the first 10 fights or so of a fighter's career. It just depends entirely as to who they boxed, really.
Totally agree, and I think Red Johnson looks like the type of fighter that the longer distance will suit him more. He looks like the type of fighter that will steal your soul, break your heart. You know, one of those guys that's hard to pin down. He switches from orthodox to southpaw all the time. His distance and his timing is very, very good. He's a type of fighter over 12 rounds that would probably get more stoppages in the latter part of the fights as opposed to these early 4-round fights. So, you know, I think we can take a lot away from this performance from Johnson. He's shown great boxing variety.
just got caught with a little left hand there that seemed to indicate to the referee that the heads might have come together, and used to avoid that in the last minute 30 or so. The last thing you want in this kind of fight is to pick up an unnecessary bit of damage, a cut or something like that from a head clash. We're heading towards mid-October now. He'll be hoping maybe that he can get back out once more before the end of the year. I don't know if that's going to be doable for him. As I said, it was a long wait for the pro debut, just backing Garay up there and looking to let his hands go, but Garay has taken everything that's been thrown at him well in this fight. Nice short right hand there from the Hungarian.
Yeah, Garay's trying to push forward, he's trying to make a fight of it to his credit. This is a great learning fight for Johnson, who's boxing well under pressure. He's staying nice and calm. Nice little short uppercut on the inside as well there from Johnson. But this is it's a good fight. Good fight.
That's a good final round for him here, Johnson, too, because Garay's making him work here. He just fancies this a little bit now, Garay. I think maybe he feels the energy has dissipated slightly from Johnson, and he's just going to go and make a few polite inquiries.
Yeah, I agree with that, Andy. I think that Garay is having a lot of success in this last round, which is good for Johnson. Like I say, these are the type of rounds he needs. He don't need those pushover fights. This is a good learning fight for Johnson, and he's having to ask a few questions about himself in there at the moment. Garay is a tough opponent who's pushing forward until that final clacker goes. He fancies it here, Garay, but Johnson keeping nice and patient, nice and calm under pressure. Good finish to the contest. Great little 4-rounder.
And that was good stuff from Pavol Garaj towards the end there. He put his foot on the pedal a bit in the second half of that fourth and final round. Johnson controlled the fight in the first 3 rounds. That final round was close, though. That was close, that last one.
Yeah, it was close. I think that Johnson done enough to win it. I think that Garay had an incredibly good last minute, asked a few questions, but Johnson is some of the action in that round. Johnson early on, throwing the combinations, 1, 2, 3 shots, all going through the guard of Garay, but to his credit, he stuck to it, Garay, and pushed forward in the final half of that 4th round and made Johnson ask a few questions to himself as well. Good learning curve, the crowd were pleased, great contest. Actually, Andy, it's been a fantastic night of boxing from beginning to end. I don't think we've had a bad contest. It's been a real crowd pleaser tonight.
No, I agree with that. They've been well matched. Fighters early in their careers have been put through their paces. We see some really good stuff. Okay, let's get the score for the final time tonight. Here's Verity.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of boxing, your referee, Howard Foster, scores the fight 40-36 in favour of your winner, Red Johnson!